name is Ricky at Daytrade. What's going on, guys? It's Ricky. Thank you guys again for joining us for another YouTube video for how to invest in the stock market. So this video is it's gonna be somewhat of an update or a review. I believe I've made a video on the specific indicator. I wanted to make one kind of straight to the point, so I'm gonna start showing my screen for the TD Ameritrade Thinkorswim platform. It's the software that I use and the brokers that I use to now like day trade and swing trade and stuff like that. You guys 100% do not have to use this platform. This is simply what it is that I utilize to take some positions, and I hope that my explanation on how to set up this indicator, how is it that I use it, and how it's led to my success can assist you and guide you in the right direction. Altogether, you don't have to use this indicator. You should never rely on any indicator to take a position. It's just something that you can use as a reference to get a better understanding and to validate whatever pattern or plan you might have before you actually take a position. So I hope that you guys enjoy. Thank you. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and get a better understanding on how to first add the SMA indicator, how my setting feature is for the simple moving average, and I'm going to talk to you about why it is that I have it that way, and then I can kind of get into it on some examples on how is it that I've been able to utilize it to take some positions and how it's led to my success. Again, this is an indicator that I use, and in no way is this any suggestion that if you use this indicator that you're going to be 100% successful, but it's something that I've used, that I've utilized, and it has assisted me or gave me a better understanding that whatever it is that I am trading, it is validating that pattern, and it gives me the confidence and the reassurance to be that much more confident when I take that position. So I hope that you guys enjoy, and if you guys do, please feel free to give the video a thumbs up. So first thing that you guys have to do is you can click on Edit Studies on the TD Ameritrade Thinkorswim platform. I'm actually going to remove it, so I can remove it just like this, and I can search for it. So it's simple moving average. You can see it's that second one that pops up. I'm going to double click, or I guess I just have to add it to workers. There we go. I can double click it, and then we just can click on the little setting option right here, and then it says the length. The length that I like to have it set up as is 180, and I'm going to talk to you guys about why is it that I have it at 180, and I also changed the color instead of it being like that light blue, because that's my EMA indicator. I like having this one green. I click OK, boom, boom, boom. Obviously, I didn't do anything because I already had it within that setting, but how is it that I utilize? I mean, that's how you add the SMA indicator, right? How is it that I utilize this indicator? And why is it important to me? I do a lot of swing trading, and I try to focus on stocks and ETFs that are trending up long term. I'm going to give you a very quick example to have a better understanding that, hey, is something going to start showing signs of an uptrend or a downtrend? First of all, why is that important? Well, I want to make sure that whatever I invest in shows signs of an uptrend pattern. So because of that, I'm going to go to the 180-day analysis, so 180-day 4-hour chart. And let's say we called out CPG when it was at a sub $7, right? It was building this like upward pattern. It was just building this cup and handle pattern after it had the sell off at 775. Do you see this SMA indicator, and that after it broke above 775, it got rejected, right? It sold off and it bounced again at the support that it has at around 650, which is something that we called out. What do? We usually wait for the break above the EMA, just like we did here. And then how do you know when it's a good time to sell? Well, based off previous patterns, being able to see that the SMA indicator was a previous resistance multiple times, we could see that, hey, maybe when it approaches the SMA indicator right around 750, that might be a good time to sell. And because of that, if we were able to get in when it broke above the EMA, so when it broke above the EMA right around 780, let's say, to be a little bit conservative, let's say we end up selling at just at the SMA indicator at 746. That's 9.72% profit that you would have been able to cover, and to understand where to buy and where to sell. I mean, we've made multiple videos on the EMA indicator and why it's so important to wait for the break above that. Now it's very important to also understand that the SMA indicator can either act as a support or can act as a resistance, depending if the candles are trending above or below the actual chart itself. So that's a very quick explanation. Let me also give you another one. Something like JDS. JDS isn't going to be the best example. Something like Gush. Gush was showing signs of this upward staircase pattern on this 180-day 4-hour pattern, and something that you can see is that every time that it would approach this SMA indicator, sometimes it would drop below, but the EMA would always try to hold above the SMA indicator. So it showed a lot of support, right? This is it tends to be a good buy for Gush, right? It validates that pattern. Not every stock or every ETF is gonna validate the SMA indicator. It's not gonna be relevant for every stock, and that's why you have a series of different indicators depending on the series of different stocks or ETFs that you trade. So as you see, we got a bounce here, it pushed up. We got a bounce here, it pushed up. Right, a lot of consolidation on the SMA indicator. Then there was a lot of consolidation here when it was at the SMA, but it ended up breaking below it. So now there's this bearish pattern. And now that it did a lot of consolidation and it's trying to move up, now we're seeing that, hey, this SMA indicator might start acting as a resistance. And that's why multiple people have asked me, hey, why is it that you keep calling out Gush to be a good sell at around $24? Well, it's because the SMA indicator has the potential, again, not 100%, has the potential to act as a resistance, which is going to push down and hold down Gush itself and have it to continue to sell off. Obviously, you could push above it, but it's going to show some consolidation there, so it would make sense on why you would want to cover your profits close to the SMA indicator. It wouldn't be necessarily a great buy when you're so close to the SMA indicator, because that might be a peak point, right? Let me give you another example. There has to be more because I use this thing all the time. So let's use Twitter, for example. If you like trading, long-term growth companies and stuff like that, then, let's say like something like Twitter on this 180-day analysis, you can see that every time that it's bounced on this SMA indicator, once, it got really close there, twice, 3 times, again, 4 times. It's showing signs of when it usually is a good buy. And that's very important to be able to use some form of indicator to have a better understanding on why, certain companies or certain ETFs bounce at certain price points. So it doesn't mean 100% just because it's at the SMA indicator that I'm going to invest $20,000 into Twitter and hope that it goes up. There's obviously steps that you still want to take, but it's an indicator that you can leverage onto the other ones that you might already use, something like the EMA indicator. So as you can see, it's getting Twitter right now is getting rejected by the EMA indicator, right? You can see this blue line, it continuously gets rejected, but it's trying to hold above this SMA indicator. So one of 2 things will happen. We'll either get a break above the EMA and it will start to hold above the SMA as well, and that's signs of an uptrend pattern. Then I might want to take a position there, something like it showed here, right? It was being rejected by the EMA, it was being held up by the support, it did trend a little bit below it, but then it popped right up and now it's above both. Something very similar like that can happen, but we need to wait for the confirmation. So what is it that I can do? I can simply set my alerts. I can set my alert when it starts to actively trend up. I have an understanding of what the EMA indicator is doing. I have an understanding of what the SMA indicator is doing. Now it's just waiting for the confirmation, and I understand the pattern. I understand that I'm at a good buy potential area, but I want to make sure that I don't just buy in and then it continues to descend. The last one that I want to talk about is X. X is, again, a very nice, solid ascending uptrend pattern, and usually when it gets close to the SMA indicator, it tends to identify when it would be a good buy. Again, it's not always 100%, and this is a perfect example on, basically based on previous patterns, it has supported the SMA indicator, but sometimes it doesn't. It, still gets rejected by the SMA indicator, and it continues to trend down. So, it's important to use the SMA indicator when it comes down to a potential good buy area, but to not solely purchase something when it's around the SMA indicator, because if it doesn't validate that bounce, or if it doesn't start to trend up after it hits that SMA indicator, then it's not validating anything, right? And that's why it's so important to wait for confirmation. There's a series of different indicators or different studies that I use to utilize to have a better understanding, not only that it's at a good buy territory, but that it's also going to start showing signs of growth. And how is it that I do that? I wait for it to show signs of growth. I wait for it to actually bounce, show signs of a reversal, and start to actively trend up, because I want to invest in something that's actively trending up, not continuously falling down. Like, who knows that X will not continue to drop all the way down to 20? I don't know that, right? No one knows that. But based off previous patterns, we can expect that hopefully it will bounce soon. And what is it that I can do? Well, I have my alert already set at around $41. So when it starts to bounce at around $41, it will be slightly above the SMA, and I could revisit this and be like, hey, I can buy around 41, and I can see if I can sell around 46. It offers 14% potential for profit. If I take a $20,000 position, I can get pretty close to being able to cover almost $3,000 worth of profit with one simple trade. And how is it that I'm doing that? Am I doing anything magical? No, I identified a pattern. I'm using a series of studies that help me validate that pattern, and I'm simply waiting for the confirmation. Patience is key, and making sure that you understand what you're investing in. But that is pretty much it. I wanted to make a very simple video just talking about the patterns, how it is that you can add it, how is it that I can use it, why it's so important to not solely rely on it, and certain examples on how I've been able to leverage it to trade successfully as well. Another example very quickly before I exit out, so it's going to be natural gas. One thing that I've been able to use the SMA indicator on that's been pretty popular within the past couple of days was this potential reversal for this like natural gas future and stuff like that it's been consolidating around. So it's something that I've been leveraging, and although the ETF itself, I don't want to confuse you guys, but the overall ETF itself, like you guys, is actively trending down, but because of the pattern that I see on natural gas and the SMA indicator building this cup pattern, I see the potential for this to actually start building this cup formation and actually start trending up even when the actual ETF itself is showing signs of a downward pattern with the SMA indicator. So if that makes sense, great. You're probably part of the Learn Plan Profit group because I've made a video talking about how to leverage futures and ETFs and how to use that and how they correlate with one another. If it doesn't make sense, then just be sure to do just a little bit more due diligence in how futures can work well with ETFs. I do have a couple of videos on that, but again, the course that we have is designed to showcase step by step exactly what it is I mean by that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you guys again for all the love and support. I have over 700 videos on YouTube, and you guys can feel free to utilize all of it. It is quite a bit of videos, right? So if you want to get straight to the point and you want to learn everything it is that I know about the market and what has led to my success, be sure to check out for 30 seconds the first link in the description. I have a private group. I work with them every single day at Market Open. I speak to them, so it's not just a course and that's it. You get to work with me every single day because I'm actually trading every day. If you follow me on Instagram, I post my profits every single day, and I would love to be a part of your success. It's an amazing community. You can look for the feedback. You can ask the people in the comment section or in our free Facebook group what people think about the course, and make sure you do your own due diligence before being a part or purchasing anything. I stand behind 100% what it is that I've created in the community, and the environment that we host. And I one day hope that you see value and that you can be a part of our community and our success as well. So thank you guys again. Continue working hard. Continue following your dreams. Let your passion be what drives you in your success. And like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take it easy, team.
I'm at my prime. Yeah. I'm at my prime. Whoa. Have I gone too far? Do you detect something different? If you look